Welcome to the Journal Editorial Report. I'm Stuart Varney in for Paul Gigot. Well, Hillary Clinton kicked off her second presidential run this week with a move to the left, striking a populist tone as she vowed to work for, quote, everyday Americans, while railing against overpaid hedge fund managers and CEOs.
As you look across the country, the deck is still stacked in favor of those already at the top. And there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong when CEOs make 300 times more than the typical worker. There's something wrong when hedge fund managers pay lower tax rates than nurses or the truckers that I saw on I-80 as I was driving here over the last 2 days.
So, is she a credible champion of the middle class? Let's ask Wall Street Journal columnist and deputy editor Dan Henninger, assistant editorial page editor James Freeman, and Washington columnist Kim Strassel. Dan, is she a credible champion of the middle class?
Well, the bigger question, is she a credible champion of herself? I mean, Hillary has her own believability problems. She's obviously a member of the 1%. And what Democrats are worrying about is whether she is going to make these political mistakes as she goes out there. If you want to attack rich people, that's one thing, but then to say that the average CEO makes 300 times more than the average worker when she's giving speeches for $250,000 to $300,000 a crack, that's a political mistake. And I think that as she goes forward, she's going to have to square the circle between the fact that she's a mega celebrity, one of the world's most famous and rich people, running around the country claiming that she's the champion of truck drivers.
So she's got a tough job positioning herself as the champion of the middle class.
Yet.
Yeah, in terms of her pay in those speeches, on an hourly rate, most CEOs would love to get her rate. So I think she is not that credible as a champion. Also, remember, when she in some cases was collecting these big checks from universities, and when she was making her tour around the country speaking, there were some kids on these campuses saying, wow, that could have gone a long way toward tuition, for example, if Hillary had not been demanding such a high speaking fee. So she's got some work to do to convince people she's the champion of the middle class.
Kim, same question to you. Can she be a credible champion of the middle class?
I don't even know how she can do this, Stuart, because here's the problem. Hillary Clinton has been out of elected politics for a long time now. She has spent all of those years positioning herself to be the inevitable nominee for the party in 2016. But while she's been out of this and busy doing it, the party has moved along. And you now have a liberal wing that has crafted this agenda outside from her and handed it to her. And it was never what she was ever about. So she not only has the problem with her own wealth. I mean, this is a politician who has long had, when she's run for office, strong ties. She's going to be funded by private equity managers, by hedge fund managers. And having to explain all of that, I think, is something that she's not necessarily ready to do because she was never prepared to do it.
Yeah, Kim, I mean, she's going to raise $2.5 billion. That's an astronomical amount of money. How do you square that with the middle class?
Remember, the Clintons were the people that were actually sent out in this last midterm to go and help the kind of more conservative Democrats out there, because that's the part of the party that they always represented. And now with pressure from Elizabeth Warren, the demand is that she run this very populist campaign. I'm not sure she's fluent with the language, and I think she carries a lot of baggage that's going to make it very difficult for her to do.
But James, she's got some things going for her, hasn't she?
Yeah, money. That's the biggest thing. And yes, it's going to be awkward trying to appear like a regular person with all this money. But the $2.5 billion, and that's the number people are talking about, that is more than Romney and Obama combined raised. It's so much that this week she brought on as a CFO of the campaign, a former high-ranking Wall Streeter. I don't know what the thinking is exactly, but if the amount of money is so large that she's going to raise that you actually need a financial pro to manage the assets that are sitting in the campaign, this is a spending blitz that politicians have barely dreamed of.
Look, I'm looking for some support for Hillary here, that she has got some things going for her.
She's got the Democratic organization.
Precisely.
The big blue. I mean, this is a huge and powerful
It's a big deal.
Yeah, and they're going to get out the vote. They're going to spend money. A lot of these billions will be spent on TV advertising to drive the message. The question is the disconnect between Hillary Clinton and the message. As Kim has been suggesting, the progressives have decided that Hillary is going to basically be a stand-in for Elizabeth Warren. It's going to be a left-wing Democratic big government campaign. And can she push that across credibly? Is that in fact what the middle class wants?
Is that how you define the issues here? It's big government all the time, President Obama and Hillary Clinton, versus Republicans, small government, market-oriented policies. Is that how the whole debate is shaping up?
The debate is shaping up over an extension of the Obama policies the last 6 years, which has created, or at least has occurred in an economy that has created a lot of middle-class anxiety. Is more of the same going to alleviate that anxiety, or is an alternative going to do it?
But, Kim, doesn't Hillary Clinton want to get away from the Obama legacy of a shrinking middle class?
Well, this is her challenge. Probably, arguably, the smartest thing that she could do is start defining her differences with him, because he's not necessarily a very popular president at the moment. The problem she has is she's got to run in a primary, and she's got a left-wing base that wants her to go even further than he has gone, and those are the tensions against her. Now, by the way, just to talk about, I mean, she does have some built-in advantages, things like demographics. One thing that always helps people like Hillary Clinton, she's got the women's vote, she's got other factions of the Democratic community that are simply sitting there waiting for her to get them. Can she enthuse them to come out? That's one of her challenges.
To be continued, everyone. Thank you.